Guys, it is officially here. If you are not excited, you have some sort of serious problem that needs to get medically diagnosed. If you are excited, you are in the right freaking place. First things first, the box is awesome. I'm loving the box. The back, there's not really that much back art, just a square of Darth Vader and a little bit of this, a little bit of art. But man, this thing is awesome. This is from Hono Studios. I know this is not the soonest possible review that I could have had. However, this is the best I could do on short notice because, well, I was on vacation, and also I ordered this as soon as the waitlist came out. So let's go ahead and crack this baby up. Here we are. Let's unwrap this. I don't really care about the protective plastic wrap. You could buy this anywhere off Temu for maybe 9 cents. In all honesty, fellas, you guys are really getting the first look out here because I have to bend my neck at a very awkward angle to get this. I am so excited. Here's the Darth Vader art. Let's look at this again. It's kind of, I guess I was gonna say it's kind of the same as the front of the box. That's probably because it is the front of the box. Ooh. Holy crap. All I gotta say is this is an absolutely beautiful figure. I am in love with this. The video does not do it justice. All right, folks, so first things first, we're going to take a look at the accessories. So, all right, folks, so where would we first without discussing our lightsaber? This is the very classic Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader lightsaber. You know, got the little clip up top. Very nice, very nicely detailed. This is obviously, in case you guys couldn't tell, the Rebels style Darth Vader. Rebels is probably one of my favorite Star Wars shows, and I absolutely love it. However, the lightsaber stays tried and true. Not very surprised. So I actually am quite unable to do the light up blades. Let's just take a look at our blade here. Pretty basic blade. It's got like that little Rebels like thin tip, which I really like. I really like the attention to detail there. I mean, I know that like, you know, this is kind of based off of Rebels, but I'm glad that they did this and they didn't mess it up, you know, like, because sometimes they do stuff like that. But, you know, let's just toss in the saber right here. Looking very nice. That is pretty much exactly what the Rebel saber looks like, so I'm extremely excited about that. Okay, so we have a small selection of hands. We got 3 fists, so one like this. Pretty good material. The detail's pretty nice. This is not going to be the one that I'm using, but it is a soft kind of rubber type of deal, and I'm really liking it. I'm not going to lie. This is very nice. All right, next we have the coolest one, the one that I'm probably going to end up using for my first pose in the shelf. The force choke / force push / angry hand, I guess you could call it. Very nice. I'm pretty sure there's a scene of Darth Vader and Rebels doing this, using this hand. Obviously that's probably why it's in there. If I can find the picture, I will put it up on screen right now. But this is very, very nice. Now, I'll tell you what. It's not much. It's not much at all. But it's honest work. Like I said, this is probably going to be one of my most unique figures in my collection. Despite it being a Darth Vader, one of the most popular Star Wars characters, it's a Star Wars Rebels version. I think that that's super awesome, super sick. I'm so glad that I got this. So here we got the Star Wars Rebels branding right here, and then the rest is just nothing. We have our little stander upper here, I guess. I don't even know what to call it. I guess I got to figure out how to insert this. We got this, and then it comes with a clear crotch grabber. So I like that it's clear and it's not black. But let's get into the big boy, the bad boy, the figure. Folks, I have 2 words for you. Wow. This is an absolutely amazing figure all around. I am absolutely loving every second of this. This thing is so cool. The helmet is absolutely mesmerizing. All right, guys, let's get straight into this figure. I will say, we're going to start with the cons. The only, and I mean the only con on this entire figure is that there's no wired cape. But honestly, that's all right. I'm not mad at that because in Rebels, he kind of has like a very straight down, I don't want to say finicky, but a very straight down kind of cape. So I honestly don't have that many gripes with this. The only reason I'm saying any drawbacks on the figure, personally, I think this figure is a 10 out of 10. I think this is a 10. I would call this a 10. I'm not going to lie. However, I'm giving you this perspective for those that are more serious. You know, I'm not the most serious toy collector in the world. I'm really not. I'm probably the least serious toy collector in the world. I pose them. I don't really, I mean, I take care of my figures. They're in a case and I clean them. However, I'm not like, ooh, stress on the joints and all this other stuff. You know, I think that's a little nitpicky. I think everyone has their own things, but to each their own for sure. But yeah, this is definitely it for me. I love this figure. I knew this was gonna be my favorite figure in my collection, and it is definitely looking like it. Let's just get a look at this helmet. Holy crap, are these red eyes intimidating or what? This is an absolutely awesome figure. I'm loving every single second of this. The eyes, it's like a marble. I don't know how to describe this. I don't know how to quite put this into words. And let's move down to the chest box and like the belt. Absolutely sick, absolutely awesome. You know, it's the Vader chest box, Vader belt, but it's just something about just how clean this looks. Like, it just looks so organized, and the paint is great. Like, let's just appreciate how well painted this is. This is an absolutely awesome belt. Has a little bit of movement. You know, obviously we have the shoulder pads. Very nice, very nice. I'm really liking the material. I'm really liking like the texture on these. You know, the silver, it's great. Like I said, this is skinnier Vader. You know, this is him in Rebels, so you know we've all seen that kind of action before from him. Like I said, the gloves are about as glovey as it's gonna get. Next, we're just gonna throw him into some poses. And yeah. All right, folks, here is our first pose. It's more of a striking pose. The one thing I would like to talk about, I'm sure you guys are wondering, is the posability. When it comes to this figure, I would say he's a little stiff. Now, is that lore accurate? Absolutely. He is a little stiff, I'm not gonna lie. Which, of course, like I said, this isn't really a drawback on the figure. I mean, it's a little stiff, but it's still totally posable. Very, very, very posable. We're gonna throw him in about 1 to 2 more poses. Last one gonna be my favorite one. I might just go back to this one. This is a pretty cool pose. Looks like he's about to strike. But like I said, I just really want to point out this helmet. This, if you guys aren't familiar, the Rebels Vader design is actually an original concept art design for the first Star Wars. This is awesome. Look at these red eyes. Look how intimidating that is. Look at the hand, the absolute anger, the flowing of the cape. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful representation of everything that Darth Vader should be. All right, folks, here's our second pose. A little bit more subtle, very similar to the original. However, like I said, when it comes to the posability, this was really easy. One thing I really like is something that I really want to talk about is the feet. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but most Hot Toys and Hono Studio toys have really weird, like tight foot joints that are very hard to move. Now, in this case, I've had absolutely no problem. Darth Vader's boots, I guess, adjust exactly where I want them to go. So I am very happy with how this turns out. Folks, if I could define aura in 6 words, it would be Darth Vader. This is awesome. Look at this pose. This is sweet. Excuse the messy background, by the way, guys. This is just about the only desk I have to film on. But let's just look at how dynamic this is. And I'm just not just trying to glaze myself or anything. I just want to talk about the posability. I'm really loving this figure. This is I would call this the second easiest figure that I've ever posed. Behind that, I would call Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan by Bo-Katan Hot Toys is probably the easiest one that I've ever had to do. Look at the cape, the way the cape flows. I'm honestly liking the fact that he doesn't have a wired cape at this point because of the way that it sits. Like, for example, my Darth Nihilus Hot Toys here does not have a non-wired cape. It is wired. And although it makes it look a little bit more dynamic, when I tell you that this was hard to like get to sit properly and look like it was flowing, like how Darth Vader's is flowing without the wire, it was hard. It took me a couple minutes, I can't lie to you. But yeah, man, I mean, I honestly am preferring Vader's cape right now. All right, folks, this is gonna be our last pose. This is what we're looking at right now. I want to talk about something. Like I said, when we're talking about the posability, look how easy this has us to pose. Now, it kind of sounds like cheap, but it looks awesome, so I don't really care. The only drawback, one minor detail, is in some situations, well, the quality just dropped like crazy. You can see there it is. You can see under. So I guess if you want him looking up, which I don't know who in their display would want him looking up, but that might be a potential drawback. This is the Darth Vader Hot Toys review. Look at the pose I'm in right now. This is what I'm doing to record for you guys. I love you guys so much. I just want to say thank you so much for the recent support. We have gained near 30 or 40 subscribers. We are at 273 subscribers, and oh dude, we might have gained 50. We were at like 220 when I started streaming, so I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. I love you guys so much, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace. You guys that are wondering what my setups looks like, It's this. This is what I'm recording with.